Hello, everyone. This is your weekly reading from July 26th through August 1st. And as per usual, I've picked out the cards ahead of time, but I have not looked at them. So this could be very, very interesting. So, can't believe we're getting into August 1st already. Here's your first card from the Goddess Power Oracle, which is by Colette Baron Reed. Both of the card decks that I'm using today are by Colette Baron Reed. And the second one we're going to be using as well, alternatively. So there's one card from the Goddess Power deck, the other one from the Enchanted the Enchanted Map Oracle cards, both from Colette Baron Reed, and we're going to stick with that alternating. So let's see. First card is Ocean Generosity. Isn't that beautiful? One thing I do love is that when we are generous, giving to others, we feel absolutely fabulous. Have you ever noticed that? If you give something at Christmas time, for example, give a gift, or even at the birthdays or anniversaries, you feel so good about giving the gift. And it doesn't even matter, in a sense, what you get in return. It's just that whole feeling of generosity that you're giving to someone else out of the goodness of your heart. So I believe that we're going to start off this week with a feeling of generosity, the feeling of amazing abundance that we could give to others, and also the generosity of others giving to us. So let's read this card and see where we go from there. Just as usual, I do read from the guidebooks just because I find that they're very useful for pinning some information and messages for one person or another. So basically, some messages would work for one person and maybe some would work for others. Ocean generosity. Empowerment message. There is a universal law that centers on unrestrained generosity and flow. Ocean, the benevolent Yoruban river goddess, the representation of nourishment, healing, fertility, and prosperity, reminds you that life herself has given to you freely. You have been offered air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat, and shelter to sleep in. So it is your task to give freely of yourself, no matter how big or small the act, without expectation of receiving anything in return. The goddess Ocean encourages you to allow gratitude to permeate everything you do right now, even the smallest of opportunities and gestures. The very experience of giving and being generous with your heart, time, money, assistance, kindness, and care will provide more value than you can imagine. And when you release all attachment to the outcome, you will be surprised to see how the good fortune you have bestowed on others comes back to you tenfold. Ocean reminds you that this is a truth that has existed since time began and will continue until the world's very end. I am going to read the alignment message. I feel like this might actually be very intriguing for some as well, that might actually be more applicable or resonate with others. Sometimes you may fall prey to fears about whether you will get what you need, so you worry about money or love, and you begin withholding. You might find yourself being overly restrictive and beginning to hoard for that proverbial rainy day. Do you know you cut off generous ocean's flow of potential when you allow yourself to be convinced that there is not enough? The truth is, when you begin to be miserly with your time, affection, and gifts, you will see little in return as all you begin to notice is what isn't there. In this moment, the goddess Ocean wants to offer you this alignment task. You can't expect the great goddess to be generous with you if you show her you don't trust in the flow of her generosity. Now is the time to do the opposite of what you fear. When you feel there is not enough money, spend it to signal your trust in abundance. If you feel unloved, ask, who can you love and where can you show you care? Even a kind gesture made to a stranger sends the sign that you trust in the generosity of the world. Don't wait to get what you want. Give it away to others, and you will be amazed at how things turn around. The goddess Ocean has only your best interests at heart. In the alignment message, I believe that a lot of people may be feeling kind of the crunch of some abundance is being withheld, or feeling like they're being withheld. Or you might be feeling like, oh dear, you know what, we're getting into the end of the summer. We have to really be careful. Maybe some vacations that have actually also put a little bit of a strain on the financial flow. This could also be relationship issues, or finding that love is not coming to you as much as you're giving out, or vice versa, that you're feeling that you're maybe withholding that love just because of the fact that you have been hurt in the past. This is something also to just keep in mind too, that as things change within the world, we do know that there have been some price increases, and that there has been some evidence that people have been kind of going and stocking up for the rainy day, they say, that could happen, or some economic problem or issues that could reflect on the flow of merchandise throughout the world. Now, that being said, where you are right now, I want you to take a look around your surroundings. Just right now, take a look around your surroundings, wherever you are, whether it's in a building, in your home, outside, in your yard, at a person's house, wherever. And just feel the flow of energy. Feel the flow of love. Feel the flow of actually having. And for that reason, give thanks that you actually have the sight to see it. There's so much to be grateful for. And the universe does give when you are giving. They recognize that that's a flow. Giving and receiving are a flow. Now, if you're receiving a lot, maybe now's the time to give. If you're giving a lot, now is the time to recognize that you are also receiving, if you cannot see it, or to allow the universe to give you something, whatever that may be. This is just showing that fear of not receiving is what is an impedance to the flow of energy, based on the law of attraction and many other universal laws, that says giving and receiving is something that is always going to happen. The flow of energy goes out, the flow of energy comes in. That is just the way it is. That's the way it has been. That is from the beginning of time. The flow of energy goes out, the flow of energy comes in. Now, if you find that material goods happen to be scarce, be thankful for what you have in that scarcity, whatever it is that you have. If you could look at the freedom, or the fact that you have all of your senses, that you have the ability to move, to have any type of experiences in general, because there are many people who cannot. As a past speech language pathologist, I actually had been working with a lot of people who had difficulties with communications or even physical mobility issues. And it was amazing to see just the little gains that one or the other might make, and how happy that person was, and how happy their family was. Be thankful for the little gains you have, for the little things you have. And the more thanks you give, the more gratitude you give, the more material goods and things, whether it be relationships or career or ideas, will come to you. Now, the next card that we have is from the Enchanted Map Oracle cards, and that is movement. Funny, I just said it, didn't I? So, movement. Very, very interesting. Now, we have a little bit of a story happening here, as usual with my cards. There's generosity, and now there's movement. Now, movement can happen as well when you are in the flow of that energy. So energy coming in, energy going out. That in itself is movement, energy movement. But I also believe that this has something to do with the movement of everything around us. You are in a time of positive forward motion. This is the time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. You're in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts, and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't the time for fear. Let it go and move forward. Reversed. So this is basically if the card was pulled upside down. I'm going to read it too, because I do believe that the message has something to do with many others' views at this time. So, do you feel as if you're walking in circles, seemingly not getting anywhere? Consider the spiral that travels up and around. 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Even backward movement helps you progress and reach your goal. You may need to revisit some of the places where you forgot to look for treasure. Another message is this: lessons need repeating for those who refuse or are unable to learn them the first time. Consider this another invitation to mastery. I believe that the latter part of that message is actually very true for some. It means that if you do end up in, for example, I'm going to pick a relationship, because this is something that a lot of people do end up having that circular movement through life with. And that is if you end up in a particular situation in your relationship, which kind of mirrors from a past relationship, it's because there's a lesson to be learned that still needs tweaking, that still needs a little bit more analysis in order to see what it is that you're missing. So if this does have to do with a relationship within your life, within this week, maybe this is the time to step back and take a look at the relationship. What is it that maybe you have to do with that situation? Can you look at it from a different point of view from your side rather than from the other person's side? Can you look at it from the other person's side? That's the other thing. Taking a neutral stance backward is a wonderful way, and that's the movement. Taking that perception and that thought pattern backward to look at the whole picture gives you that sense of neutrality and that sense of equality, because it balances the scales a little bit, and it lets you just see, okay, you know what, maybe I did have something to do with this situation. Most of the times we do. So equality definitely has something to do with the entire relationship. How about the financial situation? Don't look at the global spectrum at this time. Look at yours and see how resilient you are within your money situation, your financial situation. That means that basically, if you are okay, you could have very little and be okay. Trust me, I've been there and I know what it's like. You can have very, very little and you can stretch, say, even $100 out over months. Yes, months. Been there, done that. If you look at this from that perspective, you will see that you are moving forward. You know, in those times, what I would do was just basically use that time to do things for myself and for others. It was a time where I used to make my own body products. I would make things for others and I would give. I would not expect anything in return. And if I did, that was the flow of abundance. You give and you receive. And that kept me going. The universe has always got your back. Even if you have that much and you're barely making rent or you're barely making it through anything, the universe has your back. You will get something. You will make it through. You may not be completely, a millionaire, but you will make it through. So that's one of the things I'm saying about the latter half of that alignment message. The movement forward, however, seeing where we're going right now, is that everything that we're doing right now is moving forward. Doesn't look like it in a sense, because there are some places that are going back into restrictions, maybe because of the fact that we actually have restrictions lifted. All of it is movement forward. We're changing. Change means movement. Even if that change seems like it's not exactly the most positive change, you're still changing. And no matter what happens, it's your perspective of whether or not it's bad or good that actually creates the emotion you have and the outcome that comes from that. If you think that it's always going to yield something that is a positive for yourself and for others, it will. So just letting you know about movement. So we are going to see that the movement and flow of energy is actually going to start to become very particular in this week. The next card that we have is Gaia, Earth. Now, I love this card. This just because we are so into Earth right now. We're for the Northern Hemisphere, we're into summer. Right now, it's the heart of summer. We've got basically some rain in our area. It was a dry spell. And Earth takes care of itself. Gaia, Mother Earth, takes care of herself. So this is just a little message to say that we're not alone, that Mother Earth does have something to do with our lives and what is happening in the world. And yeah, there are some things that are happening in the world that really definitely works with change. Maybe in this sense, it's one of those changes that are difficult, like say earthquakes, volcanoes, any other environmental things, global things that are happening. But let's see what Gaia has to say. The empowerment message is this: being grounded, slowing down, and remaining present in your body is the message the Greek goddess Gaia has for you right now. Perhaps you spent too much time in your head lately and have not taken as good care of yourself as you would have liked. Get into a rhythm. Make sure you get enough sleep, commit to spending more time in nature, and eat sustainably with conscious awareness. Gaia, the earth, mother of all life, invites you to pay attention to your body, for you are a creature of the earth as well as spirit. More on that after. I'll talk to you about this. You are part of this living earth, which is the foundation for all of life that has a physical form. What form does your life take? This is the perfect time to take a closer look to ensure you're happy with it. You're also asked to examine the foundation of what you are building right now. Does it feel solid and stable? Now is the perfect time to focus on stability and security, ensuring you move forward in a grounded way. The goddess Gaia reminds you that the earth is the playground for conscious manifestation. So be respectful for this truth. In alignment, when you scatter your energy and allow fear to take root, you can become ungrounded or out of touch with your environment. You become disconnected from your true nature as a spiritual being having a human experience. The need now is to look at the cracks in the foundation of the life you've built. When even one aspect of your life is out of alignment, it affects everything else, as we know. Ground yourself with Gaia, the Earth Mother. She wants you to enjoy creating the world you live in. Your alignment task is to take a fearless inventory of where, how, and with whom you live your life. Is your energy draining from the choices you are making? Are you physically exhausted? Do you accept less than your value? Your efforts must now be to repair the foundation of your life and begin again. You will be so thrilled with the results and wonder why you didn't do it sooner. The goddess Gaia is supporting your every move. This is why I love this card. One, it's telling you to trust your body. It's telling you that your intuition is correct. It's telling you to stay grounded by going into nature and recognizing what is true and what is not. It is telling you that you are a creature of the earth. We come from some very amazing spatial places. And what this is saying is that the universe and Gaia, because Gaia is part of the universe, work together to help us. So in this particular time period, it's saying, take care of yourself and know that yourself will take care of you because you are a star seed having a human experience. That being said, trust. Know that in all of our times, Gaia has always taken care of us. The earth is always there with natural products that help us in many different ways. We have herbs, we have plants, we have what we call weeds that are actually medicinal in our backyard. And they're right there to help your body move. Why else was it there? Why else did it come here? Why else are plants growing? Just to exist? I don't think so. I think that we work in synergy with the rest of the planet. We work in synergy with the rest of Earth. And in fact, Earth works in synergy with the rest of the universe. It's the solar system, the galaxies, the star systems all over. We work together. When something happens on the planet, it happens in a ripple effect everywhere. And this is just the law of energy. So what this is saying is, as the movement of energy flows forward, because energy is limitless. So that covers the generosity part. This week, we're going to be looking at maybe some things that will have to do with the earth and make you realize or just remember how much the earth is in synergy with you. You create your reality. What that typically means is that your thought patterns, whether it's, oh, I find that this is really terrible. If you say that this is really terrible, it's going to be terrible. It's going to feel like it's terrible because that's the energy that you're putting out. But if you say that, oh, wow, I feel for those people, that's just one of those things. Oh my gosh, I'm going to send some love out there. Now, what you're doing is you're actually using your countenance to be able to use your energy to heal and help others. You're creating a loving and compassionate scenario for yourself and for other people. And that's that generosity, giving and receiving part. So we're going to look at a lot of giving and receiving, I think, this week. The next card that we have through the Enchanted Map Oracle cards is listening. Isn't that lovely? We have a beautiful, very knowledgeable elephant that's listening to some music. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of those videos out there where the animals are actually listening to music, but music carries a lot of vibration. It's sound vibration, it's energetic vibration, and it's amazing how it reflects upon us because every vibration affects our cells, or affects water. Have you ever seen the way that vibrations affect water? There's many studies out there, but one in particular has a study where, and I will post it. I'm going to check it out because for some reason the scientist's name is escaping me at the moment, but I believe it's Matsumoto, but I'm going to check. Anyways, it was studies done with water and how different music or different, even just what you say, has a huge effect on the crystallization of the water and the crystals in the water. Well, we're made up of over 80% water. So basically, anything that is said to us, any vibration that is out there is going to affect us. So I love this because in listening to the way that the universe is working, whatever it is that's out there, the music, somebody saying something to you, it's going to affect us. Keep that in mind because in this week we may hear some interesting news. The way that the planetary influences are going, this week could be very riveting for us to listen to, but it is up to you to create the conclusion of what you want that emotion to be at the end of it all. So checking into listening, we have an open heart will hear the message. When this card appears, you're being reminded that there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to what is not being said at the moment, for the deeper message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. The other alignment message is this. Are you feeling that you're not being heard, that perhaps your needs aren't valid, that your song will go unsung? Now is the time to bring your message to the world. Speak up. It's time for your voice to resound throughout your sphere of influence. This is a moment to say what you mean and ask for what you want. In the reverse position or alignment message, listening has another meaning too. It also asks you if you're refusing to listen to someone else, preferring to hear what you want instead of what's being said. This is the time to get out of denial. Reversed or in alignment, this card always brings freedom if you heed its advice. Well said. Now, listening also involves discernment. That means what you hear, whether it's through someone else, maybe official, maybe personal, you look and you see, okay, how does that make me feel? Do I have any particular emotions that come out of that person, that person's message, whether you read it or you hear it? Now, in those emotions, you can turn that around. If you find that that message just has this funny, strange feeling within you, then that's your intuition telling you. That's that heart part in this message here that is telling you to just dig in deeper. Maybe that's not quite the message. Maybe it's part of it. Maybe it's not even truth. Just dig in further and see. And you know, we're going to see some of this in the world. There are a lot of truths that are coming out and a lot of things that we're a little confused about. This is saying, listen carefully and also watch how you speak to others. If you are speaking with a bitter tongue, that may mean that whatever is coming out is not being received as well as you want it to, or you're really intending on it not being received as well as it should be, to the point that you're very angry and you're saying it with anger. Now, know that the emotions that you have definitely will not fall on deaf ears. That's the first thing that people hear are the emotions. They may not even hear the message, but they can hear the tone in your voice, the way it's said, the lilt, the way that it's projected to someone. If you're saying it with a bite, which just shortens all your words, and that's a speech therapist in myself, basically that could really have a lot of emotional outburst from the other person. In other words, you could get a reaction, and the reaction may not be very favorable. So watch what you say. Be careful in that giving and taking of the emotions and the energies that are given that are going out is something of compassion. Just watch, and if you don't say anything at all, and they say if you don't have something good to say, then don't say anything at all. Well, there's a reason for that saying. It's just basically saying discern what it is that you're saying. Check out what it is that you want to say and see if it's going to be heard with the right message, the way that you want it to be heard. Okay, so that's something else that's we're going to see. That's probably, this is looking at the latter half, but this could happen of the week, but this could happen anytime during the week. The last card that we have that covers this next week is from the Goddess Power cards, and it's Green Tara, Salvation. Now, I like this one too because when you think of green Tara or green in general, green is the heart. That's the frequency that is associated with the heart and the heart chakra, as we would call it, the heart energy output, the vibration there. And it's associated with the color green. So, salvation, interestingly put. So, right to it, interestingly. Okay. The divine has intended you into being and given you the assignment to explore life through certain perceived limitations. You are meant to learn about life in all its complexities, especially learning about how to be in community with others. Green Tara, a Tibetan goddess, also known as She Who Saves, says that you will never be alone in life's journey. This compassionate savior goddess of intimate friendship, will ensure that the right people will show up for you at the right time. Green Tara reminds you that your needs will always be met. You don't need to know the how, as that is her domain. You just need to trust, and the goddess Green Tara will use her magic on your behalf. You are safe and secure, and always in the care of the divine. So, an alignment message to go with this, which I feel might actually resonate with some of you. Green Tara, known as She Who Saves, is here to remind you that salvation is contingent on your willingness to release your ego conflicts and surrender your wants and unmet desires to the divine. Do you find yourself swimming in a nagging spiral of dissatisfaction? Are you comparing yourself to others and always coming up short? Do you feel entitled to the manifestation of your wants, arriving in the only form that you will accept? When you are suffering from longing and wanting, you are like a hungry ghost that will never be fed and blind to the opportunities that are truly yours. Never fear. Just as a true friend will let you know when you're off track, Green Tara will let you know when you're out of alignment. She will save you from the destructive qualities of hubris, entitlement, and elitism, as well as the consciousness of lack, with the following alignment task. Get right with yourself and the world again. First, know that you are exactly where you need to be right now. And if that means empty for a time, that is perfect. Instead of looking at what isn't there, bless every tiny aspect of your life with deep gratitude. Green Tara will show you that the world is your friend. You've only been fighting against yourself. You will then recognize the truth, the earth, as a place of joy and abundance. I think this goes right in line with the message from Gaia. Now, interestingly, this really taps into how you view your world, how you view what abundance is, and whether or not you actually feel like you have it, feeling that she's bringing in salvation, the goddess is bringing in salvation. And what is happening in this world right now is that perpetuation of the fear that nothing's going to be the same anymore, that it's tapping right into our safety and security, our health, our view on what the world is going to become, that unsurety. At the moment, that fear is so powerful that it can overtake you. And it's understandable because we don't know what's going to come. However, I have always known in the back of my mind and in the depth of my soul that everything happens for a reason. And the reason is all what you need to look at. What is really happening? Change. We're moving into different areas of the world, the solar system, the universe. We are just moving. We're evolving. And if we are to evolve into that which we are necessarily to evolve into, which are amazing beings, because we are way more than we think we are, then that means profound change. There was a message that says, let it happen in there. Just let this occur. But at the same time, watch your perspectives of it. If you find that you're delving into that, oh dear, anxiety, and it's something very tough because we're looking into the unknown, then walk into the present. Meditate, sit in a chair and just close your eyes and breathe. Breathe deeply from the belly up and let it go. This is a time of letting go, shedding, shall we say, of the old skin, of the old whatever that never worked for us, and now bringing in something that is just amazing if you let it. That is the flow of energy that we have within us and what's available to us at this time. Now, it may seem like I'm looking at all the positives of this situation. I do see what's happening in reality. And I choose to see from the eyes of what can I do to help and what can I do to keep myself grounded and keep myself in a state so that I can help, so that I can be there for someone else and something else, whether it's a situation or anything that comes my way. So this week is a lot of contemplation, a little bit of confusion. But what this is saying is that the universe has your back. The flow of energy is there for you. Be not afraid. Allow fear to leave you so that you can bring in that abundance, that flow of energy to yourself. And allow the beings of light, the universe that is out there, to provide you with what your countenance is, and that is abundance. Abundance of energy, abundance of love, abundance of finances, abundance of economic stability, of any type of stability. Allow this to happen while the changes are going on in the world. And it's also saying, listen. You may just have to sit back and just listen in the quietness and the solitude, and make sure that if you're listening and you don't like what you hear, dig deeper. That's what you should do. Just be true to yourself and dig a little bit deeper into the situation. While everything around us this week may be tough, some things may be happening within the global scenario that we have no idea what to make of it. Try to stay grounded. When you stay grounded, your emotions are also in a nice, even keel, more of non-reaction and either inaction or action within ourselves. So this is that time. It's a time for you. It's a time for that change within yourself, and just to know that the universe has your back. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Look at it from the positive sides, and that change, it's going to happen no matter what. So just let it and see it for what it is, with the happiness and the love and the joy that you know you should have and you always will have from the universe. And so it is. I love you all, and I hope you have an absolutely fabulous week, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.